The budget for fiscal year 2026 will contain the highest budget education in history. With the 56.6 billion pesos added by the House of Representatives, the total budget for the education sector will be 1.28 trillion pesos, the highest ever in the history of our country.
I move to consider, on third reading, House Bill number 4058. Printed copies of the bill were electronically distributed to the members on the 10th of October, 2025, pursuant to Section 80, Rule number 11 of the Rules of the House. Before we proceed with the nominal voting, may I move that be recognized the Chairwoman of Appropriations, the Honorable Michaela Swansing, for a short manifestation.
The Honorable Michaela Swansing is recognized for her manifestation.
Madam Speaker, distinguished colleagues, the version of the General Appropriations Bill that we will put into a vote on third reading is one that is truly responsive to the needs of the Filipino people in our country. A budget that Congress can be proud of. One question often asked is this: where was the 255 billion pesos from flood control projects reallocated? It was allocated mainly towards the three key sectors identified by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., that is education, health, and agriculture. Specifically, 201.1 billion pesos out of the 255 billion pesos were allocated towards these three key sectors. 56.6 billion pesos towards education, 90.7 billion pesos towards health, and 53.7 billion pesos towards agriculture. The budget for fiscal year 2026 will contain the highest budget education in history. With the 56.6 billion pesos added by the House of Representatives, the total budget for the education sector will be 1.28 trillion pesos, the highest ever in the history of our country. This is the first time ever in our history that we have breached the 4% international benchmark. And not only that, the current education sector's budget translates to 4.1% of GDP. The 63.2 billion pesos budget of the Basic Education Facilities Program under DepEd will translate to around 25,200 new and rehabilitated classrooms. This comprises 63% of the 40,000 classrooms envisioned by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to be built and rehabilitated by the year 2028. Also, this is the first year that we will be able to fully fund the implementation of the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act, or UACTE, since it was passed in 2017. In fiscal year 2026, we will be able to fully fund the 12 billion peso deficiency to state universities and colleges, something that the SUCs have been clamoring for the last 5 years. With a total funding of 52.2 billion pesos for UACTE, CHED-TES, CHED-TDP, TES the STEP, and TES the TWSP, we will be able to provide scholarships to a total of 2.49 million learners. Under the health cluster, with the 90.7 billion added by the House of Representatives, the total budget for the health sector will amount to 411.2 billion pesos. Of this, the House of Representatives provided an additional 60 billion pesos for the subsidy of PhilHealth towards the improvement of benefits. And with this, the subsidy for PhilHealth in fiscal year 2026 will amount to a total of 113 billion pesos. We have also provided a total of 49.1 billion pesos for MAIFIP to actualize the directive of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to provide zero balance billing for indigent patients in all government hospitals. Under the agriculture cluster, with the 53.7 billion pesos added by the House of Representatives, the total budget for the agriculture sector will amount to 292.9 billion pesos. Of this, 10 billion pesos is provided for the presidential assistance for farmers and fisherfolk, expected to benefit 1.43 million farmers and fisherfolk. 74.5 billion pesos will be provided towards the construction and rehabilitation of farm-to-market roads and irrigation infrastructure. Moreover, 30 billion pesos is provided under the Rice Competitiveness Enhancement Fund towards the provision of farm mechanization and machineries and other farm inputs. Lahat po ito ay para matulungan ang ating mga bayaning magsasaka na bumaba ang kanilang gastusin at mapataas ang kanilang ani at kita. With regard